and welcome to this week's preview show. Myself, Dave Harley, joined by Mike Hunter as we look ahead to the big one, Edinburgh Waterford Monarchs versus the Glasgow Tigers this Friday night at Armadale. It's a huge match. It's the one you always look for in the calendar when the fixtures come out. And Mike, you've seen quite a few of these over the years. Do the juices still flow for you for the derbies?
Well, definitely. It's the match supporters of both teams want to win the most, I think. You want to win every match, but you certainly want to beat your local rivals. And you don't feel happy if you don't achieve it. But it's going to be a big test this week, I'm quite sure of that.
Yeah, it's a big weekend with obviously Monarchs at home to the Tigers on Friday, then the reverse fixture at Ashfield on Sunday. And looking ahead, we spoke to James Sargent and Daniel Hume about the matches, and we also had a race from the 2018 Scottish Cup to look forward from Mike's archives. So plenty to look forward to, and as we say, a massive week. And it's been a quiet week for the Monarchs. I think only Josh racing on Monday evening for Kings Lynn, and no away matches after that big win over Newcastle last week. But the boys will be quite buoyed after that win and looking forward to the weekend.
I'm sure there will be, but I think they all know it's going to be probably a tougher match than they've met so far. Many people have said to me that they think this year Glasgow have really got their team right. They've, instead of signing on really big name established stars, they've gone for riders who have really strong potential. And I think they've got their team right this year, and it's going to be really tough. I don't see any weak links in that Glasgow side, and the less experienced members of our team are really going to have to pull out all the stops.
Yeah, it'll be a tough task for our guys this weekend. As you say, although they've signed some young guys, Glasgow, they have signed two of the riders that won the league with Poole last year. So an exciting team as well. So there should be some good racing Friday night.
I certainly think the Glasgow team is very exciting. I think in Benjamin Basso and Tom Brennan, they've probably got two of the world's best prospects, and there just isn't a weak link there. I think they've all scored double figures at Armadale, apart from young Conor Bailey, who's a very useful reserve. We know that. So if they're all on song, we're going to have to be very, very good to beat them.
Yeah, and you've not even mentioned Craig Cook, our old friend, who is racing at number one for Glasgow still, and which means there'll be some big challenge for Sam and Josh as they both come through the first two home matches pretty well. Sam's still undefeated, and Josh with some great passes already only after 2 weeks. So he's 13, heat 15, and it'll look like there'll be some tasty encounters this week.
Certainly, the strongest part of our team is the top two, obviously, and I think they're well up for it. I don't think either of them's ridden better in their career than what they are at the moment in both their leagues. And Josh is producing ridiculous heroics for Kings Lynn, and Sam's doing a great job for Wolves as well as what they're doing for us.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, hopefully we'll see more racing like that, but still with the same result as last week would be nice. But as you say, a big challenge to achieve that. But that's why the guys at Lassie and Kai and Jacob are here. They're here to try and challenge themselves against better riders and harder environments, and big challenge for them. But they've all of them have shown signs that they could be capable of picking up those points that could take us to victory on Friday.
Definitely, I'm certainly happy with the team, and I know that Alec and John are as well. So yeah, we're ready for the challenge.
One of the guys that they heading for the challenge was James Sargent, who was excelled with a paid maximum last week, and he's certainly looking like he'll be an important key factor for us this season, Mike.
definitely. That's the best I've seen him ride, I think, particularly at Armadale, but anywhere probably. And it was marvellous to see.
Yeah, and I took the opportunity to speak to James earlier on to hear his thoughts ahead of that big derby match.
On the preview show tonight, we've got Monarchs James Sargent. James, welcome to the show. It was a paid maximum last week after a solid weekend. The weekend before, that was it. Must have been great for you last week.
Yeah, like I said on Friday, it was one of the easier matches of the season, so we're nice to take advantage of it, and just get a paid maximum.
Yeah, definitely. You still had to beat Matthew Weathers and James Wright. There are no slouches around Armadale, so certainly some good scoring and starting to get some partnerships with a 5-1 with Paco, and you've a couple of good scores with Jacob and Heat 2 as well. How are the new boys settling in?
Yeah, it might take them a little bit to get settled in. I mean, we couldn't have had a tougher start from going away to Berwick and Newcastle. I mean, probably two of the hardest tracks in the country. We ride a lot nicer tracks than them two tracks. So yeah, they've had a pretty hard start, to be honest. Not many people can go well around them two tracks. So yeah, hopefully, they seem to be doing pretty well. We'll get settled in and bang some good scores in. Yeah,
and is there a good team spirit building with the guys?
Yeah, very good team spirit. It's definitely a good team. We all get on. It's nice. We have a laugh, and you look forward to going racing.
That's always a bonus, isn't it? I mean, obviously you raced for us in 2019, and you put some pretty good scores in at Armadale. But is there a benefit of starting the season with the Monarchs?
Yeah, I've not started the season with Edinburgh before, so it's nice to start a year with them instead of coming in halfway through. I feel like it's been a good start. I mean, track preparation has been pretty perfect. I mean, last two meetings it's been a good track, and I've enjoyed riding.
And of course, it all builds up for the derby this weekend, the big Scottish derby. And is that something that feels a bit different to the riders as well? We know it means a lot to the fans, but is it a different weekend for the riders?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of like a playoff meeting. It's a lot more intense for Scottish derbies against Glasgow. I'm looking forward to it. I always enjoy riding in them. I'm being on both sides, so I know what it's all about now.
Yeah, I was going to say you've been on both sides of the pits. Is there a different approach from the two teams, or does it feel the same?
They both want to go out and win. It's a pretty big meeting. I mean, more so for the fans, I think. It's a pretty serious meeting for them. So yeah, we'll go out, and obviously best team wins that night. We'll give it as best.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be riding pretty confident after last weekend. And what do you think the chances for the Monarchs in both matches?
Yeah, like I said, we've started off for the new guys at two tracks that are probably hardest to ride. Glasgow's a nice track to race at. Since they've made changes, I think they'll enjoy racing Glasgow. It's always hard to go to Glasgow against Glasgow, but it's Scottish derby night, and like I say, it's kind of feels more like a playoff meeting, so everyone's giving it that little extra. So yeah, hopefully we've got two well prepared tracks, so we can go for it and put some good racing on.
Yeah, hopefully that should be good. As you say, you've done plenty of laps around Ashfield as well, so hopefully we can rack up a couple of good scores for yourself and for the team. Yeah,
it's like I say, it's hard it can be hard to go against Glasgow, especially when you rode from. I think expectations are a little bit higher for the ex-Tigers, Tiger riders. But yeah, I've had on my way around Ashfield. Like I said, we've got two well prepared tracks that you can give it everything on. So yeah, it should be a good weekend of racing.
Yeah, and we know they obviously put together a pretty decent team these days. So it'll be a good test to see where the Monarchs are this season and see what the potential prospects are for going forward?
Yeah, it's a good team. I mean, Berwick were a good team to test themselves against. But yeah, it's another good team. But yeah, I think Edinburgh's we're a good team. So it's like you wanting these other teams to think that about us, really. And it's just another match. We need to go out and give it its best. But yeah, it'll be a good test for us.
Yeah, definitely. And potentially put a good marker down for the rest of the season. Do you have any ambitions for this season?
Well, just score as many points as I can, really. I mean, enjoying the racing at the minute, so yeah, it's just score as many points as I can. Obviously, move up into the main body of the team and carry on scoring some good points.
James sounding very confident there and enjoying himself this season, and again, that's another massive factor. As all 7 of our guys seem to be enjoying themselves in the 2 weeks we've had so far, Mike.
I think everybody's very happy with the way the team's gelled together. The boys are enjoying each other's company without question, and that's a very important factor in a successful team.
Yeah, and some good characters in there as well with Lassie and Paco. So lots to look forward to on Friday nights at Armadale these days. But as you say, it's a big challenge on Friday. Glasgow started the season with 2 big home wins, although then they did have a slight disappointment for them at Leicester on Saturday night, losing 52-38. So showing they're not quite they're certainly not undefeatable, but not sure Leicester will be a great judge of anybody this year, Mike.
Leicester are very strong at home, of course, and it's harsh to judge any team on what they do at Leicester, but I kind of suspect Tigers were a little bit disappointed only to get 38 there. But we'll see if anybody else can get more than that, maybe not.
So that was obviously they've only had 3 matches this season, and they'll be looking to kick on this weekend as with the double header against the Monarchs.
I'm sure they will. I certainly think Tigers. This is the best Tigers team for quite a long time.
Yeah, no, I mean that's as we've said, we've touched on Cook, Basso, and Brennan, and the other one who did very well in his first 2 matches at Armadale last year was Daniel Hume. Mike, he's potentially a wild card, a good trump card for Glasgow at reserve.
Told me, as you'll hear in the interview, that he was really looking forward to it. He sounds a very buoyant character, and I'm sure he'll present us with considerable challenge.
Yeah, and as Mike said, he spoke to him over the weekend, and we'll hear what Daniel had to say.
Thinking back over the last year for you, you had a fantastic season last year with doing the double with Poole, and now you've maybe moved from Poole to the favourites to do something similar this year. Do you see it that way?
Oh, 100%. It's one of those things that it's a challenge for Glasgow, and it'd be a fantastic feeling to be able to do the double with them as well, especially I know how hard they've been trying to do it over the last few years, so to be able to try and do it this year will be awesome.
Yeah, and I think I'm right in saying last year it took a wee while for you to actually find a place in the Championship. Was that right, at the beginning of the season?
Oh, it was, yeah. It wasn't until the Rising Stars team come out that actually put me in a job, because I was actually waiting. I was talking to a club and they told me that the contract was in the post and it never turned up. So yeah, as it happened out, I was at Poole, and yeah, to be honest, that worked out for the best. I had a really good season, and of course we won the Knockout Cup and the league. So that winning feeling of doing that, I just want to try and repeat it this year with a different team who I believe we've got the potential and the talent to do it.
Yes, indeed. So you were happy with last season. You got near a 5-point average with Poole, didn't you? And had a link up with Sheffield as well in the Premiership.
Yeah, that was fantastic as well. It's just being on the bike more regular. It brings you on as a rider, and even though we've had a bit of a slow season start to this season, it's I feel like I've almost, because we finished the season so late last year, we were still racing in November, it doesn't feel like I've been off the bike that long. So it feels, it just feels natural just to come in and ride again. But obviously I'm now one end of the country to the other with Paul to Glasgow, but I'm really enjoying my time at Glasgow.
That's good. And you've got a link with Ipswich as well, have you?
Yeah, so I've actually got my first ride tomorrow with Ipswich.
Right.
We're at Kings Lynn, so there could be potentially a very busy period coming up. I've got 4 meetings in May, middle of May. I've got 4 meetings in 5 days, and one of those meetings are in Germany. So we've got to get to Germany and back for a meeting the following day.
Sure, that's pretty testing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking forward to this Friday and Sunday, of course, the home and away matches. Armadale last year you did very well. You hadn't been before, but you got 11 in the league and you got 5 in the cup final. So you'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, so to be honest, it's a track you hear a lot of riders moaning, saying, "Oh, it's not a very good track, it's this and that." But when I turned up and actually walked the track, I thought, I don't know what everyone's been really moaning about. It's a track, and to be fair, it rode really nice. So I'm actually looking forward to being, because I've never been part of the Glasgow Edinburgh local derby clash. And from what everyone said, it's a fantastic, good rivalry. So I'm looking forward to actually being part of a racing team and being part of that. And obviously hopefully that we'll come away with the win. And I'm looking forward to it, I really am.
Very good. So you've heard all about these derbies. It's probably the most famous one in the Speedway these days, I think.
Yeah, and they've said both home and away it's a fantastic atmosphere, and there's a bit of banter towards the fans, and to actually be part of it, especially as an opposition rider coming to Edinburgh first, I can't wait. So,
good stuff. And you like the Glasgow track as well, do you? That's a more speedy one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's one of those things that I like to. Obviously, last year I was at Poole, and Glasgow is a completely different track to most, really. The banking, it's fast, and to be honest, I love the track, and I don't think it will take long to get dialed into it.
So Daniel there's looking forward to his weekend and his first glimpse of a Scottish Derby action, and for everybody else, you'll be able to get your own slice of the action by getting onto the Monarchs website and buying your tickets ahead of the match. www.edinburghmonarchs.co.uk. As always, before the match, get your blue cards and get your discounted tickets ahead of the match. You still buy your ticket on Friday night, but it's discounted if you buy in advance, so get yourself on there. And as per every match at Armadale these days, it will be live streamed on the internet, and you can buy your stream now from, again, the same website, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, and click on the EMTV link. Buy your stream now, and you'll be able to settle in on Friday night for one of the hottest tickets in town, Mike.
It should be, and they've even got the benefit of having you on commentary this week, haven't they?
That's right, yeah. Lots of big shoes to fill with Graham, but I'll be making my debut on EMTV Live this Friday, so hopefully lots of things to get excited about. That's I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure. And as we look at that, I mean, there's been many classic Monarchs Tigers matches over the year where we're still early in the season, but we're hoping for something good on Friday. And one example of that is from Mike's Blast from the Past, which is from 2018 in the Scottish Cup at the end of the season. Josh Pickering found himself on his own against Klaus Vissing and Carl Wilkinson after William Lawson hit the deck in the first run, and let's have a look and see how Josh got on.
Restart of heat 12 then. William Lawson out, Josh Pickering gets another go. He's away reasonably well again, but I think Vissing will get round him, which he has, so we're back in the same positions as first time, except that William Lawson's not there. Now where's Josh going this time? He's trying up the inside. Good turn by Josh there. He's on his favoured line, he's making up ground. Blasting a long way around the outside, he's very close. Son of Clouds knows he's there. Up the inside for Pickering, he's got the speed advantage and he's gone through. Bissing coming back on the inside. Could be tight at the line. It's Pickering, brilliant race.
Another fine ride from Josh Pickering there. It's not just for Kingsland. Those guys are only just seeing him now. We've been watching that kind of talent for several years now, Mike.
Oh yes, even when Josh's average wasn't all that high, he still produced fantastic racing, and he's now added really big scores to that. It's marvellous to see.
Yeah, hopefully big scores for the Monarchs and for Kingsland, and hopefully more on Friday. And that was part of a Monarchs 50-40 win where we managed to take home the Scottish Cup after a runoff. Ricky Wells beating Paul Stark. We could settle for a result like that on Friday, Mike.
I'd settle for any win on Friday, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, definitely.
Is it happiness is 46-44? Is that right? Is it?
Yeah.
Cool. And also, that's not the only thing to look forward to on Friday with the Monarchs Academy. Some of the riders from there taking their first step onto big track competitive action, with the Armadale Angels making their debut against the West Lothian Wildcats in a challenge match. We've got Lewis Miller, Dean Douglas, Zach Gallagher and Liam Morris for the Angels, and Gregor Miller, Josh McPherson, Lewis Haig and Rocco Webb for the Wildcats. It's another big step forward for that academy, Mike, and it's great to see.
It certainly is. It could prove to be one of the major events in the Monarchs history, really. The work that's been done at the Monarchs Academy is absolutely remarkable. A tremendous credit to everybody involved, and to see young riders coming through to take part in competitive action already, that's really something, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing that part of the meeting.
It's fantastic. And so what more can we look for than on a Friday night in a massive Scottish derby between the Edinburgh Monarchs and the Glasgow Tigers, then some junior action, potentially seeing the stars of the future. It's really, everybody should be there on Friday night for the Monarchs against the Tigers. It'll be a cracking night of Speedway and a cracking weekend for Scottish Speedway, Mike.
Very much so, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yep, and as we say, so it's just a reminder, you get your tickets or your live stream from edinburghmonarchs.co.uk. 7:30 Friday night, Monarchs at home to Glasgow, and then the reverse fixture, which is a 6 p.m. start at Ashfield on Sunday evening. Ready for that. So a fantastic weekend of Speedway ahead, and we are looking forward to it. Unfortunately, we will end on a bit of a sad note with the very sad news that George Young unfortunately passed away earlier in the week, and he'll be a big miss for Scottish Speedway, Mike.
Definitely on a club level and on a personal level for many of us who consider George to be a tremendous friend. He had done everything with the Monarchs. He had been a second half rider in the 1960s, believe it or not. He was the most successful agent for the Monarchs Grand Draw. He supported the Monarchs ever since he was a young rider, and he took over the job of clerk of the course, in fact, in recent times after losing his wife, Frances, a few years ago, and he rebuilt his life to be around the Monarchs. And became a very, very popular person, made lots of new friends, and it's a tremendous loss to the club. Yes,
very sad news indeed. He'll be missed. Rest in peace, George.